Friday, everybody. It is Insta Live on Fry, and it's your host, Audrey Button from Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes. I am a college specialist here, and I use pronouns she, her, hers. And so, like always, they're at the top of the hour, 2 o'clock. So we'll get started. And before I kind of get into it, we're going to be talking about Twilight, so hopefully, I know that movie's a little old, but they had a whole series too, which also came out a really long time ago. I believe it was 2008 when they the first one came out, which is Twilight, and then there's several movies after that, and there's obviously also the books. So if you're not familiar with it, maybe you don't want to watch this because I don't want to ruin it for you. So if you want to watch them first, then maybe you should stop watching now and then go ahead and watch them. So before I get started, I just want to give a content warning, as some of the material in this video may be sensitive, so please take care of yourself however you need to. And then I also, as always, the video is available afterwards on our Instagram page and on our YouTube page. And so if you want to go watch the movies first and then watch this, then you can do that. And then just a disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed in this video are not necessarily those of Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes, but of those in the video. And with that, we'll get into talking about Twilight, and specifically mostly Edward and Bella, who are the main characters throughout the series. So before I get started, I just want to remind everyone, I reference these a lot. It's the One Love 10 signs of a healthy and unhealthy relationship. And I'll try to point some of these out while I'm talking the unhealthy signs of the relationship. So if you're looking for these, you can go to the One Love website, which is joinonelove.org, and you can find the 10 signs of an unhealthy relationship and a healthy relationship. So keep those in mind. Have those out in front of you if you want, or check it out later. So we're going to be goodness, I can't talk today. Specifically talking about Edward and Bella, and some of these, this discussion will reference all of the movies, and a lot of the stuff happens throughout all of the movies too. So we're not just going to be focusing on Twilight, but New Moon, Eclipse, and Break. I can't even remember all of them, to be honest. It's been so long. Which is, I'm also going to probably go back and rewatch these now that I've taken a deeper dive into their relationship. So I want to touch upon the theme before I get into the discussion on what Twilight is. And I really, you can draw the comparisons between Twilight and Beauty and the Beast. It's almost like a modern version, which it's not so modern anymore, of Beauty and the Beast. Because there's this theme, which we talked about Belle and the Beast a couple weeks ago, about how Belle's there to save the Beast, to change him back into a human, and she's needed to do that. Same kind of goes with Edward and Bella. So Edward is a dangerous vampire, wanting to be, I say in quote, tamed by the right woman, which happens to be apparently Bella. And he's a dangerous monster. There's a lot of moments where Bella's almost hurt or killed, and because she's involved in this vampire world now. So to kind of get started, Bella was easily taken advantage of by Edward due to, I don't know if you've noticed, especially in the first movie, she appears as someone who has, thank you, Rebecca. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. Of course, we got someone who remembers the order of all the movies in the book. So definitely recommend checking them out if you are interested. But I'm definitely going back and checking them out again to, have a closer lens, looking into their relationship. So Bella kind of has this persona about her. She has low self-esteem. She kind of appears as awkward, or her personality is just, she doesn't feel very confident about herself. And she kind of sees Edward as out of her league. She's really, when they first meet, she's really interested. And actually, I think I have this scene where they kind of first meet. She sees him, and then they have to sit next to each other in class. There you go. And he clearly, is uncomfortable around her, doesn't want to talk to her, which actually I found out later like he was covering his nose because not that she smelled it, she thought she smelled it. She was super like self-conscious about that. It's apparently her scent as a human being, which obviously she didn't know he was a vampire yet. So she saw Edward as out of her league, way too good for her. Like, she wanted to, like, be with him, even though she saw him as, like, you know, more than what she was. So Bella was also drawn to Edward and even Jacob because of their bad boy persona. Like, well, obviously we find out Jacob's a werewolf and then Edward is a vampire. So that dangerousness and bad boy-esque type personality about them, she's drawn to that. So she likes to kind of be in dangerous situations. She finds it thrilling. So that kind of sets her up to be easily taken advantage of, and it's like kind of like almost the perfect storm for her to be in an unhealthy relationship with Edward. So, and Edward does this by, you know, he wants to control her and isolate her from others, and you see this throughout the series. He keeps her from interacting with her father and friends throughout the series, specifically like Jacob. There's a scene where, or just throughout, Edward didn't want Bella to see Jacob, and he even messed with her truck to keep her from going to see Jacob. There was this, and actually I don't know if I have that scene. I don't know if I do. There's a scene where she goes to get in the truck to go see Jacob, and apparently Edward's sister Alice can see the future and saw that she was gonna be going somewhere, but I guess she can't see werewolves. It's been a long time, so I can't really quite remember all of that, but knew that she was up to something. So he went and took some parts out of her truck to keep her from going, which is often a tactic of abusers to keep them seeing from friends and family, or just in general, friends and family, not that specifically, which he does that by manipulating what her father Charlie knows, and even her friends at school. So he's limiting her in that aspect, which is isolation, which is one of the unhealthy signs of a relationship. And he clearly is jealous. So of Jacob specifically, there's a lot of jealousy there, which is also kind of becomes actually unhealthy in that aspect. And he also, so Edward ends up stalking Bella to, end quote, protect her, which is what he says. He watches her sleep, also creepy in general, and even reads her mind with his, vampire powers. So he kind of, like, especially if she's being kind of distant or not, at least what he thinks open and honest with him, he looks into her mind to see what she's kind of thinking and feeling. And even, like, has his sister Alice help see the future, so he knows what Bella's probably going to do. So he can apparently act accordingly to keep her safe, to protect her, what have you. It's very controlling and creepy and not healthy. There's actually a good scene where Edward's gaslighting Bella, but he kind of does it throughout the series as well. So Edward tells Bella, like, a lot that she remembers things wrong, or she's crazy, or things like that. And that specifically also happens after the car crash scene, which, let me put that up. So she was in the parking lot going to her truck, and then one of her classmates hit some ice and was sliding it was a van, I believe, was sliding towards her truck and was going to crush her. And next thing she knows, Edward's there stopping the truck. And at this point, she didn't know he was a vampire. This is early on. Stops the van and saves her, but then just leaves. Like, doesn't say anything, just stops it and leaves. And later on, she, confronts him about it, like how he got there so quickly, because he was across the parking lot. There was no way he could have gotten there in that time to stop it. And also the fact that he was able to stop a moving vehicle that's really big and sliding, and also made a dent in the van. So also kind of weird. So he convinces her, she's wrong. She doesn't remember things correctly. He didn't do any of these things. He was right next to her. Good thing he was there, kind of thing. So he's kind of distorting her reality, trying to hide things from her, convince her that she's crazy, doesn't remember things correctly, things like that. Both of them do threaten self-harm throughout the series. More specifically, I believe it was in the second movie. So there's like this claim that they can't live without each other, which is really unhealthy. If a partner is ever threatening self-harm, that is super controlling and unhealthy. And both of them end up doing it. Like, for example, Bella, at this point, Edward has left her, and so they can't be together. Bella misses him, but she knows if she puts herself in danger, she sees Edward, and she wants to be close to him that way. So she puts herself intentionally in danger to get Edward's attention, like the motorcycle scene with Jacob. And I know I had it here somewhere. Yes, there it is. Okay, so she's riding motorcycles with Jacob, and then she notices when she gets on the motorcycle, she sees visions of Edward saying, "Don't do it, stop." And like, you can kind of see her reactions, like, oh my gosh, he's here. Like, he knows I'm doing something dangerous. I'm going to keep doing it, so hopefully I'll keep seeing him. And as you see throughout that scene, she keeps speeding up and she keeps seeing him and, like, telling her, you know, like, basically trying to get her to stop from doing something dangerous. So she knows that if she does something dangerous, she can see Edward. Not even if he's, like, actually there, but she sees him, end quote. And then Edward actually, at one point, thinks Bella is dead. He assumes that she's dead, and then Edward tries to figure out how to, and even tries to kill himself, but then Bella goes and stops him, which is this scene. So it's kind of like the Romeo and Juliet, where one person dies, they think they commit suicide, they think they actually did die, and then they go and kill themselves, which at that point that's too late. It's a little bit different, but there's that threat to harm oneself if they can't be together or they want to see each other and stuff, like a way to control each other. And just in general, throughout the series, Bella is kind of seen as prey. Edward is a vampire, so he's kind of like hunting her, and there are moments throughout the series where Bella's almost hurt because of it, but just keeping that in mind. So we saw, at least in what I discussed today, there's probably more. They actually fell in love really quickly too. So there's the intensity part, the manipulation, controlling thoughts and emotions. There's probably some guilting, deflecting some responsibility, possessiveness, or like that jealousy part, the isolation, and just stuff like that. So we at least saw that in what I discussed, so definitely go back and watch them if you want and try to see if you can pick out more, but that's all we're going to talk about today. We can go on forever about Edward and Bella, but it brings me back to middle school. So that's the discussion for today. So make sure to tune in next week because it's the last Friday of Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and we'll be talking about how relationship violence is portrayed in music in general, and I know we talked about Taylor Swift last week, but we'll just be talking about relationship violence as a whole in the music industry, and that will be our last Friday of the month. And then so keep your eye out for March in the schedule for Instagram Live. So if you want more information or have any questions, definitely reach out on social media, or you can give us a call at our 24-hour hotline, which is 800-247-7273, or you can go to our website, which is www.shflny.org. And I think that's it. So everyone have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you later.